Hello everyone, my name is Sonali and welcome to my podcast show. So, what is the concept of this show? Podcast is about knowing women better through the eyes of men. So, the idea is going to be that I'm going to interview men across various industries, fields, occupation and try to understand their perspective about women. So, हम कह सकते हैं कि नारी की कहानी पुरुषों की जुबान. So, today I want to welcome Mr. Ganesh Dalvi. Welcome, sir. He is from Mumbai. और गणेश जो है वो पिछले 22 साल से लर्निंग एंड डेवलपमेंट फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं. So, hi Ganesh, welcome.
Hi.
And first I would like to know about your life journey and how did you come into this profession?
Okay, so I would say I've been a very confused kind of a soul. That's what I call myself, maverick, because I was studying to be an engineer, and suddenly the thought of doing hotel management came to my mind. While I was doing hotel management, I thought of doing an MBA in HR. Yet I went and joined an MNC, a fast food retail, McDonald's. I worked there for good 8 years. While I was working, I did my MBA in HR, moved into learning and development. And then all throughout, I've been in learning and development for about 17, 18 years now. Worked with various organizations like Reliance, McDonald's, Marriott. In 2012, I started my own company, own setup, catering to different organizations in the field of learning and development. The last 4 years, we have been conducting various programs where we are looking at empowering trainers, coaches, facilitators on different skills that are required, like facilitation skills, how to grow business, a little bit on entrepreneurial aspects, but purely from the L&D perspective. So that's how this journey is going.
Okay, wonderful. So, as this concept, I've already explained. So, I would like to ask you that who are the women who you have supported in your professional and personal life, and how do you express your gratitude towards them? I'm sure everyone has a female in their life, be it in any form.
More than women who I have supported, honestly, I can't think of any woman whom I have supported, but I can tell you about a lot of women who supported me in the journey, starting from my mother. I think she did a lot to help me get educated, gave me the freedom to do what I wanted to do, had that trust in me, stood by me whenever there was a need, believed in me. Most importantly, the values that she shared about sharing, about being a people's person, helping people. Both my parents valued education, right? So they encouraged me to study, though they themselves weren't highly educated, if I would say that. Then possibly my better half. I travel a lot and I've got twins. So while I'm traveling, she's the one who's managing the entire show back at home. My other women in my family, my aunts, my cousins, my bosses at work, it would be my bosses. I had some fantastic women bosses whom I worked with, and I learned a lot from them. I can definitely say that they groomed me a lot. I'm still in touch with them. I do reach out to them whenever I have certain challenges. Then some of my clients who over a period of time became friends and are even family friends now. My team members, I think a lot of my facilitators are women, because in L&D industry, you'll find a lot of, especially in the freelance bit, you'll find a lot of women operating, because they get that choice of doing things as per their convenience. So if you see a lot of women in my team, trainers in my team are women. And trust me, when they are around, I don't have to really worry about what's going to happen. I think they come with very strong work values. They're very high on sincerity. Their aesthetics are very strong. So yeah, I think these are some of the women that have stood by me, supported me in this show.
Okay, that's nice. So when you spoke about having women bosses whenever you are working at times, so how do you think, do you think it's really difficult, or do they have a different perspective or different style of working rather than men, or are they, more dependent or more independent? How does it
I wouldn't
look
categorize them based on gender.
Okay.
I have had some fantastic male bosses also, and some not so fantastic male bosses also, right? And the same I can say about women bosses also. Some I had a couple of women bosses who were, rather 3 women bosses that I worked with who were superb, right? I learned a lot from them. And then there are a couple of women bosses who I wouldn't call them so fantastic, right? So I don't think it is gender specific. Every individual has their strengths, their areas of improvement. So their competencies, their leadership styles, their way of managing a team. I don't think, at least in the corporate sector, is based on their gender. They possibly might have some characteristics which could be gender specific, but honestly, it didn't affect their work life.
Right. So moving ahead, like what role do you play as a man to encourage other women in your personal and professional life, and how would you encourage to mentor other men to do so?
Okay, good that you use the word encourage, because generally people use the word empower. And honestly, I've never believed in that word empower, because I think women are quite powerful, starting from the goddesses that we pray, Durga, Kali to Jijabai, Lakshmibai. I think they all were very strong. I think Shivaji wouldn't have been Shivaji Maharaj without Jijabai. So I don't think they need to be empowered. Encouraged, yes, especially in the corporate setup. Also, I work with organizations around diversity, equity, and inclusion. I do programs around DEI, and I've realized that yes, at some point in time, especially in the corporate setup, since the ratio is very skewed, more male than females, I think there need to be some changes made which can make the environment or the process a little easy for women to operate. As simple as the infrastructure, right? It could be the way the rules and regulations of an organization are, right? So we need to understand that every gender has their own unique characteristics. And today a lot of things are focused more towards the male employees. So yes, some shift is required, and I think that would really help women greatly in doing things that they really want to do, but because of a lot of challenges, like say somebody has got a baby, how can she manage cope up with both, or she's newly married, she's relocating. So a lot of these real-time situations also crop up when we have conversations in corporates around DEI, right? And it's good that today organizations are recognizing this need and they're genuinely working towards it.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. So I think the way I would do it could be maybe do more sessions around DEI, have offer work to more women, whatever little bit that I can do as somebody who's running an organization. I think definitely will do that.
Nowadays they have fresh,
Yes.
offices so that they can support their baby also, and a lot of things are changing, you can say, and supporting the women. Okay. So before moving towards next, we'll have some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So continuing with our talk, even I remember that when I joined the forces, my first posting almost like 350 men and plus 15 officers, and there were no women washrooms over there, because earlier they didn't have any lady officer over there in that unit. So all these things look minor, but then it turns into major once you actually go into the field and start working. So moving ahead, we'll go with the rapid fire round. So you're ready for it?
Yep.
Okay. One thing that you always do or will do to support women?
Give them space.
Okay. One word that comes to your mind when you say that you support women?
Gratitude towards them.
Okay. One word for men who actually empower, or you can say encourage women?
Kudos.
Okay. One strong belief or habit that the society needs to adopt to make a better place for women?
This might not be a rapid fire question. It's a rapid fire round, but I think I'll give more detailed answer. One is women don't need any special attention. Right? They need space. I think like any other human, they need the trust, the belief in them that they can do anything. Right? The family, the parents need to, or the spouses, they need to support the women wherever they can. Like I grew in a family where right from my father to us also, we do all kind of work at home. We never had this thing ki ye aurat ka kaam. Okay, did everything. In fact, my mom taught us to cook. We do all the cleaning, and I think everything that the other women in my house have done, we have always done that. And that has kind of helped us maintain the ecosystem in the family. Okay, one is the dependency of the women on the women folk in our family is not so much. So they are absolutely free to go out and do whatever they want. They don't have to really come and ask us, or they don't think of our comfort levels. But these are few things that need to be done by the society at large to facilitate women doing better.
Right. But when you are saying that, like as you grew up in an environment where there was no discrimination, or rather, you were also asked to cook and follow the same rules as the lady in the house. But not many people do that, or as we have seen, that not many parents think that way. And still we have people who have that demarcation of, if a woman is there, she should have this typical, these things only they should do. I'm not particularly about the physical strength, but the work which is by default divided is still exists. So do you think, what about these people, or how, what message can we give to the society in that case?
I think they are just losing out on a lot of opportunities for themselves and for their kids or the women folk in their families too. Right? Talent God does not give talent based on gender. Right? And we need to identify that. There were some practices that were initially in the early days being followed, but there was a reason to it. Right? And I'm sure there must have been some science, some thought process behind it. Today, I think we need to stop blindly following those practices, because today things have evolved, technology has evolved, a lot of things have changed. Right? We need to adapt to that and see to it that how can we ensure everyone's growth is we keep creating an environment where growth is conducive for everyone and not just a boy. Right. In fact, in a lot of times I've seen a daughter is much more capable and attached to the parents than guys, and this is a fact. Right. So why that discrimination? So it's a mindset shift. It's not going to happen overnight. I don't expect it to happen overnight, but I think we can keep nudging them. We can keep pushing people, encouraging and recognizing women who are actually working really hard. And there are so many women that I know who are supporting families. I know women around me where they've been working and they have brought up their kids, and today those kids are doing really well. They are doing their MBA, doing the masters, MBBS. So I mean, these are the women who need to be really considered as role models, and if these people can do it, then I think we will.
Yes, very well. You have brought out all the points, I would say. So, moving to the next question. What are some of the myths or stereotypes about women that you have encountered or challenged in your life? How did you deal with them, and what did you learn from them?
Okay, so quite a few myths, I think, around both the genders, right? One is like simple thing when used to say, and we say it so often. Now I've become mindful of not saying it. क्या लड़की की तरह रो रहा है? Yeah. So crying was considered synonymous with women, right? And there was another very famous Hindi movie dialogue which we used to use, कि मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता. I think that's so unfair even on men. I mean, obviously they feel hurt, they feel pain. And I know of people who did not bring out that pain and that led them to a lot of complications, emotionally and psychologically. Right? So I think these myths need to be busted. I know of women who are really, really strong, mentally, emotionally, physically also, and why not? So we need to do away with this myths. Another myth or that I've seen in corporates is women are not so focused on their work. They're not so job oriented, or they're not goal oriented, which again I think is not true. Right? Given an opportunity, they possibly would be equally job oriented and goal oriented, but we are not creating that environment which is conducive for them. So these are some of the myths that are coming to my mind right now. There might be many which you could discuss, but a few of them that I recently came across were these couple of them.
So what are some of the skills or qualities that you admire or learn from women, and how do you apply them in your work life?
Okay. Talking about work life, I think I prefer to talk about people, the women that I've worked with in the past, or the women that I'm working with currently. I think they're caring. They do care about the people that they operate with. They have that ability to let go. Okay, today, and honestly, I'm not a saint out here, so I will not try and say that I'm larger than thou. But the way a woman, if some there are guys or a guy is just checking out a woman, the way she takes it in a very positive stride, I think that's commendable. And in fact, I put up a post about this on LinkedIn, on Facebook some years ago, when I actually saw something like that happening, and I was so embarrassed. How can that happen, right? That's one quality that I really admire about women. I think they can handle pressure much better than men in certain situations. So these are some of the qualities that I admire about women. Aesthetically, I think they are better. Okay, they understand beauty better. They can understand aesthetics better than men. And I guess that's the reason there are women in specific fields, and you don't find a lot of men there because the term, to use a Hindi term, the nazakat that is required to deliver a job, I think women can deliver it much better than.
So I think as we are talking about this, I mentioned what qualities you would take from women. Even women can take some qualities from men, and it's vice versa. And what you mentioned is also, again, it can be person specific. This is a broader perspective that we can take. What we talk about women being, that all the multitasking and aesthetic nature you mentioned. However, it can be at times.
It can be both ways.
You've seen beautiful men classical dancers.
Oh, yeah.
So, whereas classical dancing, this form is generally more related to women or something like that. So
I think that is also about stereotyping.
Yeah.
All through so many years, classical dancing has been, it was considered that only women need to
but we have a legend.
But we have legends. But if you look at the numbers, they are quite less. Maybe because men still are a little hesitant to get into classical dancing. That's a possibility. So hopefully, I think that should also change over a period of time.
Right. So moving on to the next question, what are some of the goals or dreams that you have for yourself and for women in your life? How do you plan to achieve them and support them?
Okay, so for me, if I have to talk about from a work perspective, if you see my people second in line are all women, and I'm working with them, I'm grooming them, developing them. So maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll be more than happy to just take a step back and let them run my show. That's my goal, so that I can do things that I love doing in general. For myself also, again, growing my company, meeting people, completing my PhD. So these are the goals that are there. So let's see where.
And how do you support them?
Like I said, giving them free hand, being there when they need me, but not being too overpowering. Stepping in when I'm required, stepping back when I think they can deliver. I think just letting them know that if you need me, I am there, but I'm not going to be standing, breathing down your neck and seeing what's happening. And I do that at home also. I have given that free hand to my wife as well. She doesn't need to tell me about every small thing. I'm absolutely okay with that. So yeah, I think that's.
So, what is one strong message you would like to give to the society? If we talk of encouraging women, as a man, what would you like to say?
Well, I would say let them be, support them, and trust them. I think that's all they need. Otherwise, they're all equipped. They have power. They have the power. They have the tenacity. They have the skills. They have the talent. But they just need to encourage them, support them, be with them when they're needed. Don't interfere too much. I think that is what I would. That's the message that I would give to people in this society.
Thank you so much, Ganesh. It was wonderful talking to you and to know your thoughts all the more about this women encouragement and empowerment, the word I'm not going to use, as you said. But thanks a lot for your time. And thanks for everyone. If you're watching this, please subscribe the channel and click on the link given in the description box. हमसे जुड़ने के लिए आप नीचे दिए गए लिंक पर क्लिक कीजिए. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.